guys, welcome back. Let me just readjust this chair. I don't know if you've spotted it.
Hey.
Batman chair.
Oh, big up Batman.
If people are going to follow some socials, they might see some Batman-related things for me.
So
Bruce
he's a fan.
Bruce, I wish. So welcome back to the Heavy Set Podcast.
Big up.
Third episode. We've made it.
Hat trick.
Thank you for your time. It can be a very specific question now, like it always does. Now, think of anything pop culture-wise. So we talked about music last time, which was great. Think about movies. Think about books. Think about just kind of growing up around different things that have inspired you. So who, out of anyone, whether it's movies, comics, books, inspires you? Who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Go for it, man.
Because I've probably got two from a really young age, right? Because I used to watch loads of videos as a kid, and these are videos, right? We'll say movies. These are videos, right? You know, where you couldn't pick what scene you wanted to watch. You had to fast forward, rewind, and
again. Sorry, do you remember when you talk about tapes? I think some of the listeners will be like, "What's a video?"
And but you know what? I've got two, right? And first one was Superman, or Christopher Reeve Superman, right?
Yeah.
And I always kind of look at that one because there was certain things growing up, like, you know, Superman said, you know, mustn't smoke, it's bad for you, right? And even as of today, never smoked a cigarette in my life, right? Never done that. Maybe a cigar, other things, but never a cigarette, never done it, right? Yeah. And don't plan to start now either, right? But Superman was a big one. Morally, there was something really special about that. Christopher Reeve portrayed Superman really well, right? Great character. And then I'd probably say the one that was then became the most inspirational one for me was Rocky.
Come on.
And
Sly Stallone.
Sly Stallone, right? Massive hero of mine, right? And even when you listen to his story of making Rocky and how, like, you know, in the end everyone wanted to buy the script, but he was like, no, this is only being made if I'm Rocky.
Yeah.
Right? And how that guy became one of the highest grossing actors in Hollywood at that time, the Rocky and the Rambo franchise, all of these things, they became huge, right? But this was come from a guy that kind of was out of luck, but just wrote an amazing script.
Yeah.
And that's similar to the Rocky stories. So, you know, I've mentioned it before, but, you know, like growing up, certain learning difficulties, I felt a bit awkward in some scenarios, right? Yeah. But sport was an area where I kind of excelled. I felt like I got credit, not just from other people, but like your teachers at school, right? The only time they wanted to be my big friend is like when you could go off at a district sports and they thought, he might win this for us, right? Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're the star pupil.
Yeah.
But that was fine by me because that made you feel important and stuff like that. But so Rocky was always the underdog, and he got an opportunity, right? And I'm a believer. My religious faith is that throughout life, doors will open for you, and it's up to you what you do when those doors open, right? So some people will always be like, you know what? That's never going to happen to me. That opportunity is not really, I'm not that lucky, whatever. But the truth is I believe that doors will open, and then it's down to you to what you do with them. And there could be a day when you go back to heaven and your whole movie of your life is played back and God's going, what are you complaining about? I gave you this chance. Then I gave you this chance. And then I gave you this chance. And then, you know what? I thought, I'll give him one more go. Yeah, and still you went, that's never going to happen to me. Yeah. I'm never that lucky, right? And I believe you get these little opportunities. Rocky got this little opportunity, right? Because of his name that he made up for himself, Italian Stallion, and Apollo Creed's thinking. And then it's like what you do with that opportunity, right? And I think that's, for me, that's where there's a few big things. So for life and the way I look at things is a lot of, I wanted to be that Rocky character, right? And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to box at a young age, and I started boxing at like 8-9 years old. And, you know, so it was that. And then there was the whole, throughout all of the movies, watching his physique change. And let's face it, Stallone in the end, like, you know, Rocky 3, 4, the Rambo movies, you know, Rambo 3 had one of the best movie physiques. It was
superb,
right?
Of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah. And you know
any
what?
man you could look up to.
Yeah.
I want to look like that.
For sure.
100%.
And that was when I got into like doing the bodybuilding and all of that, that was always that was
poster
my
boy.
because that was
100%.
always a dream of
Invented the
mine
eight-pack.
was it was literally like the Rocky 4 Rambo 3 physique was the physique I wanted. That was really inspirational for me, right? I'm still trying to get it today. You know what I mean? That's what
Don't
I'm
give up,
That's
brother.
slide. Tell us just
that's
to
what
reach out to us.
I'm aiming
Yeah.
for, right?
Give us the program, bro.
I would probably say that the whole story of the Rocky journey and all of this, right, and the whole kind of life, they were the most inspirational ones
I love that.
for me when it comes to life, work, business, even family, right? Even when you look at his relationship with Adrian and all of this, right, and his kids and stuff, it's
I love that.
there's a lot of real life in this, right? Nothing's perfect. Nothing's
Yeah.
going to be perfect. No
Yeah.
relationship is going to be perfect. Things have up and downs. People have arguments, disagreements. People fall out. They make up, right?
Yeah.
And it's just nice when you've got like a bit of a real life character. And I think,
I like
I think Stallone's done an amazing job with and that's why, you know
Indeed,
what? It won a Best Oscar. This is
Yeah.
why people still watch it today. That's why they were able to create the Creed movies.
Timeless.
It's
Yeah.
timeless.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a story that loads of people can relate to, but I also think it's probably one of the most inspirational movie characters of all time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
mainly for men,
Yeah.
right? Because it motivates you to be better. It motivates you to be in shape.
Yeah.
It says to you,
Resilient.
do you know what? If you want to achieve this, if you want to be Ivan Drago, you got to go to Russia and train in the snow, right?
Yeah.
But
That's true. Yeah.
right? Apollo Creed comes in Rocky 3 and it's like, okay, if you want to be better, you got to listen to somebody.
Yeah.
You got to like let someone teach you. You got to be willing to change and to learn, right? And there's this thing in life where I think sometimes people like to say, oh, that's just the way I am. But it's like, if you know that's just the way you are, then do something about it.
Yeah.
Change.
And people make excuses not to change. One of the things I think I learned, late in life again, right, was the fact that if you don't like those things that you do and you know you do them, then change them.
Yeah.
Right?
Powerful.
Yeah.
I like that.
And so there's I think that was for me definitely 100% the most.
Which one though? Which one's your all-time? So you got two movies there. You got Superman, got Rocky. So which Superman is your favorite, and which Rocky movie is your favorite?
Do you know what? I think the original Superman.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Christopher Reeve, the original Superman.
Yeah.
I think that whole story, like of him, the adopted parents coming through, the morals. But then remember, Superman could have, if he landed with the wrong parents, right, with those kind of powers,
could
have pretty much taken over the world, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So I think it was the first one. The second one, you know what, with General Sod and the other two, right?
Wasn't bad.
That scared the heck out of me, man.
It was scary.
I mean, I was like, I was like a young kid. I was like, damn, you got
It was
you
hide
got
behind the
Superman
soap
power
time.
bad guys, and you're like, these guys are not good.
And there's more of
True.
them as well.
There's three of them,
Yeah,
wasn't there?
yeah.
I found them scary.
Yeah.
And
Who was the lady? Special mention to her. Very attractive. I remember being a kid,
Very
being like,
scary,
that was
man.
one of my earliest crushes.
She
Why
burnt
did
a
I fancy
The
snake.
lady who played Lois
She burnt a
Lane,
snake
or-
with
No,
her
the
eyes.
baddie. One of my
Oh,
earliest
my
crushes
goodness.
was her. Like, why am I attracted to this
Yeah.
this almighty woman? That's this
Just
enough
like the
about
bad
me.
girls, you like the
Yeah,
bad
I like the
girls.
bad.
Yeah,
The girls
that's
that
what
can
it is.
crush you
Yeah, yeah,
with one hand.
Pure strength.
But I've said
You
enough.
value strength.
Yeah,
and
for
then
sure.
and then the Rocky. Which one's your favorite Rocky?
Oh, do you know what? I think Rocky 3 has a bit of all of it, right? Rocky 3 has the he's at the top, at
Yeah.
the start, right? World
Yeah.
champion, and then Mickey dies. He loses the world title. Everything's down there. And do you know what? It's one of those ones where you got Apollo, who's the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but all of a sudden Apollo's like, I don't like this Mr. T guy either, right? Clubber Lang. He's like, but it's the fact that like he goes to Rocky and he's like, look, there's a connection there between them two, and you watch this whole relationship between them build.
Yeah.
And originally, it starts off with Apollo just wants to see Rocky beat Clubber Lang because he wants to help him do it.
Yeah.
But also, he believes that Rocky can change and be better,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And that he can help him do that, right? And then when Rocky allows him to do that, everything changes, right?
Yeah.
And it's cool how they portray the fight, and he wins. And then the whole kind of the chat with Adrian on the beach as well,
Yeah,
right?
that's powerful.
Where
Yeah.
he's like, he admits he's afraid of losing,
Yeah.
afraid he's not good enough, and things like this. But sometimes, and what was good about that speech and Adrian and everything else, was the fact that, you know what, you're not going to win every fight. You're not always going to be the best.
No.
You're not, and this is part of even getting older, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to accept the fact that I still want to be able to do these things, but I'm not going to be the champion I was then. I'm not going to be able to, you know, and it's being able to accept that sometimes is a win as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I think it had a bit of everything in that, you know, so I think probably, you know, Rocky 3, but then there's Rocky 4 has a special memory for me because when I was a young kid, I went to the cinema to watch it. I'm very young. And when he starts winning the fight, everybody in the cinema was standing
like
on their feet, cheering for Rocky.
Yeah, come on.
And it was like being a real fight.
Watching a Rocky movie is a group participation exercise.
Honestly.
Sure.
And that was pretty awesome, to be fair.
Okay, so Superman 1, Rocky 3. Scotty T.
We're going to go pop culture. We're going to go a little bit broader. So, and I'm going to give you a couple, and I'll be brief. One's obscure, one's less so.
Mm-hmm.
As a young kid, comic book obsessive, both me and my brother, big up Jimmy T. James is about 3 years younger than me. We loved comic books.
Yeah.
Love Superman, love Spider-Man, love Batman.
Yeah.
We'd record the Saturday morning cartoons and watch them all the way through the weekend. Like we were massive comic book geeks. And actually it was James that one day said to my mum, so I'm probably 9. So Jimmy's about, he must have been about, I think he's about 6. And he's gone, Mum, why don't any of the superheroes that we watch look like me? She said, what do you mean? Well, can black people not be superheroes? And that really, I remember him asking a question, it really landed. I'm like, wait a minute, you're right. Superman, Batman, think of all of our heroes. And at the time, I couldn't think of not one black superhero, nor could James. Mum was like, no, black people can be superheroes. Well, who are they then, Mum? And Mum couldn't answer the question either. And she had a colleague, I believe his name was Steve, who was a comic book geek, like a grown up, a bit like me, a bit like you, JP, like an adult comic book geek, an adult child. And he had
forever and always
a deep collection of comics.
Yeah.
And Mum put the question to Steve. I remember one day, Mum coming back from work, gathering me and my brother around, sitting us on the dining table, have a look at this. And there was a couple of comics, maybe 3, from the late 80s, early 70s. And it was titled Power Man and Iron Fist. Now, Iron Fist is a kung fu powered.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So he's recently had a film.
Yeah.
Power Man was a black dude. And he had kind of a headband and a kind of afro. And he was never a huge superhero. But we digested these comics and read them over and over and over and over and over again. And the impact that had on me as that young kid, seeing someone that looked like me on the front of a page of a comic was, I'll never forget that. So Power Man to most people will mean nothing. Power Man to me and my brother means everything, because that was evidence on that day that we can be superheroes too. Yeah, man. So I hope he gets it. I think he's in the Marvel series now, but he needs to get his flowers. So big up Power Man. And more recently, as we're talking pop culture, special shout out to Pharrell Williams. So as I've grown up, so Mum was one of few of her generation to be born here. Dad born in Jamaica. So my parents, whilst both of Jamaican descent, very, very different. Mum was always a lot more English in her ways, which was at odds with most of her generation. Yeah. And Dad's a proper yardie. And they're like chalk and cheese, but somehow the yin-yang works and they kind of come together, and the most perfect parents ever, because what Dad isn't, Mum isn't, it kind of all worked out, but they're very, very different. So a lot of that was imparted into me and my siblings as well. So we've always kind of had interests that diverge from a lot of our peers that look like us. Super connected to family, but my school group was very, very broad. So there are lots of musical influences around kind of like Nirvana, the Britpop era, as well as going. So I'm going to garage raves on a weekend. Yeah. But on a Wednesday, I might be out with the sixth formers and I'm at a Britpop dude. So I've always had a kind of eclectic blend of things going on in my head, and particularly music. Like we spoke about the Spotify playlist, but there's probably as much guitar music as there is bassline music. And as a kind of young kid, so we come out the garage here and I've got all these things in my head, and there's other things that I like and other things that I want to experience, and kind of other kind of ways of dressing other than Moschino trousers. I actually quite like exploring that, but never really kind of had the confidence, because figured I need to appear in a certain way because of the color of my skin. And then Pharrell Williams comes around. And Pharrell Williams, yeah, he's a black guy. But he kind of had a different energy. He kind of, his music, he had his Neptune stuff, but he also had his NERD stuff.
Yeah.
So he was like wearing two hats. He was kind of making the most amazing hip hop beats of our generation. But I was banging out some guitar stuff too.
Yeah.
And again, that was a moment in my life where I've looked at a guy that looks like me that was just operating in his own energy and was evidence that you can just be your authentic self. If you like this and like that, you don't have to pick. You can just be about it. And I think that's where the power in life comes from. I think we've all, a superhero analogy, we've all got a superpower, right? Look at the Avengers. So yes, they're all mighty as individuals, but collectively, they can stop any threat.
Oh, yeah.
Some have got little powers, some have got big powers, but collectively, it's the team up move that's powerful. And I think the job with life, particularly growing up, is to kind of find your own superpower. And that is your individuality. So whatever the thing is that actually sets you apart from others, don't lean away from it to try and be like everyone else. Lean into it and kind of be your own you. Because that thing that you've been blessed with is a thing that you've got to leverage to be awesome. And people like Pharrell Williams, Lenny Kravitz a little bit as well, gave me the confidence to certainly try and be more of myself. Yeah. And that's profound. It had a profound impact on my life.
Have you seen the Pharrell Lego movie?
Do you know what? I haven't? No.
You need to watch it.
I haven't. I bet the soundtrack is off the charts.
Do you know what? It's his whole life story in a Lego movie.
Really?
You need to watch it.
Do you know what? I haven't.
Really good movie.
Do you know what I'm going to do tonight?
Excessive.
I'm going to watch the Pharrell Williams Lego movie.
You need
Not
to
just
watch
that
it.
one.
Need to watch it.
I think it's going to have to be Superman.
Yeah.
Just going to come out soon as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's
it's going to be Rocky 3 and 4, obviously.
We've booked our Superman tickets. We're going to see on Sunday.
I'm going to try and see it this weekend.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Family fun. Family fun.
Come on.
And the Pharrell Lego movie.
There you go. Homework.
Right, guys. You know what? We're going to have to wrap it up today. I know you're all busy, so we've got to get back to our busy lives.
Amen.
So thank you again for your time. I guess the only thing we could probably ask is for some of the viewers, some of the listeners, maybe to just comment, like, subscribe, but more importantly, just give us who inspires them.
Yes.
We can give it a shout out next time that we do another episode. But as ever, Heavyset Podcast, another one done and dusted.
Let's go.
Thank you for your time.
Cool. Appreciate you, bro.
Cool.